Hello, everyone, and welcome
Hang on,
to
wait. I get my wide brim hat.
Oh, you're going to change your hat.
No, I was going to get a wide brim one.
Why?
And got the glasses as well, Jimmy?
My like flannel with it.
Just relax with the personal jokes because no one else understands what we're saying.
That's right.
I don't know what episode we're up to. Close to 100. We have been slack putting it on iTunes, but Muscle Asylum TV. What's happening, boys? I haven't recorded in a while. Everyone's been very busy. I've been busy. You've been busy. I've been busy. You've been injured. I had surgery. Nick had surgery. You got carb implants, didn't you?
Yeah. I got them.
Andre's looking healthy. Your skin looks very clear.
I'm healthy now.
Yeah, look, your skin's looking very clear. You look like you're
Second
in
week back in the training, so I'm happy.
Mate, you look like you're in your 30s.
I am in my 30s.
Chris is looking handsome as ever. I love the grey in the beard. You knew straight away I was talking about the beard. You started doing these ones before I even mentioned it. All right, let's kick things off. Jimmy, how's your shoulder going? Let's start with that.
The tricep.
Shoulders are fine.
Tricep.
Mate,
What's wrong with you, Gally? You know how chubby your head looks right now? You look like a chipmunk. Stop! You got angry at me.
It's because I've been eating everything in sight in LA the last couple of weeks.
You do look like a chipmunk, but a tan chipmunk. How's your tricep, Jimmy?
it's getting there. 6 weeks down, so I've got another 8 to go before I can lift 3 kilos.
I don't think we've recorded ever since you've injured it.
No.
Tell everyone what happened.
I pinged it maybe 4 weeks before I tore the tricep tendon off the bone in the gym. Took 4 weeks off, and then I was moving some shit around the house.
No.
What
were you doing?
I was moving some shit around the house.
What were you moving? And in what temperament? In what temperament were you at when you were moving this particular item?
Furious.
Furious. What did you throw?
Handbag.
Why?
I was just upset.
So you threw a handbag because you're angry, and you tore your tricep.
Pretty much.
Jimmy, you told me you tore your tricep doing a heavy incline bench.
No, that's where I initially pinged it.
Yeah.
I took 4 weeks off training everything, thought it was okay, and threw something against the wall.
I asked him when he messaged me to tell him that he tore his tricep. I go, how? He said, I threw a bag. I go, I knew straight away. I said, how hard did you throw this bag? He goes, I threw it into another dimension.
Fuck with it. So,
Andre, what have you been up to, my friend?
Just been getting back into a bit of work. But like I said, this is the second week back into training. This is the second week I'm eating animal protein. In the last 3 or 4 months, I've been vegan.
How's that feel? The whole vegan thing.
Being vegan.
Did you actually? No, honestly, did it? I've gotten to the point now where I feel like my body isn't processing proteins the way it should, and I was thinking of dropping animal protein. But
I wasn't I wasn't breaking down protein at all because my pH levels in my stomach were so low. So I took it out, and my stomach started healing itself. And I felt great. I mean, I was eating, all the plant-based protein, like all the beans and, all the tempeh and a little bit of tofu, but it was all just vegetables.
Yeah. But did you physically feel better? I know that you're obviously healing yourself at the same time, but did you physically feel better?
The biggest thing that I noticed was that my skin stopped being oily.
Your skin looks amazing. Good. I just noticed. I just mentioned that. I don't know if I can't remember recording, but your skin looks good.
Yeah,
makes a massive difference.
Because I've naturally always had highly overactive sebaceous glands, and when I removed the animal protein, it all just dried up, and I just started sleeping better, feeling better. Still shitting like a horse. You know what I mean? I was blocking the toilet every single fucking day. It was ridiculous from the amount of insoluble fibre I was eating. It felt good. I was never ever hungry because the amount of fibre you're in just kept you full all day. And then when I went in, was a week and a half ago to get all my bloods back, and then I did a SIBO breath test as well, and that all came back negative. So, I started reintroducing just some chicken and some whitefish and some salmon, and it's all sitting well. I'm digesting well. All my nails and all my hair is starting to grow back a lot quicker. So it's a good sign.
I might come and see you. I've been waiting for my hair to start growing back for a while now.
Dude, yours, that hair will never grow. I'm like, yeah, this is hair, bro. 47 next week, and I've still got hair.
It's a little bit thin. It is a little bit thin. 47 next week. Fuck, doing all right.
Yeah.
Christopher, congratulations on Timmy's performance overseas at the Arnold Amateur. We'll cover. Arnold Amateur, Olympia Amateur. We'll cover more of that later on. But how you been? How's life?
Good, mate. Busy. Just working. I just finished work actually, and I'm at the Gold Coast actually. Obviously, I'm at the Gold Coast because I'm next to Mick the Pitbull Galley. The Pitbull.
that does suit him. That does suit him.
Yeah. So I only finished work at 7:00, so I came straight over here, and things are good. Things are good. Athletes are good. Life's good. Thailand's not far away, so everything's good.
How long are you going for this time?
I don't do less than a month, so it'll be a month.
Yeah, right.
A few weeks. We'll be sick.
I would kill to go to Thailand. Gally, I left you for last because you've been adventuring around the planet. I'm not saying something smart. I'm saying, I know why you're cheeky, because you've got a fucking mate sitting next to you now. No, you're not normally this cheeky. You're always normally a little bit awkward. But you've got this essence of confidence in you today because you've got Chris there fucking by your side back. And you look at you whispering to each other like a pair of fucking...
little notes underneath the table.
Yeah, fucking chipmunk. How are you, brother?
I flew in at, what did I get, 5 o'clock this morning, so I'm trying to hang in there and not sleep until after this episode. But I had a great few weeks over in LA and Vegas for the Olympia and the Amateur Olympia, so we can discuss that when we get into it. But quite a good event.
You looked like you enjoyed yourself. You looked like you really enjoyed yourself. You were travelling a fair bit around with loads.
Dude, I had a fantastic time. Some of those, like we got to, because of Charles, we got to hang out with Jay in his house, which is amazing.
Tell us about that. Don't just skip on that, because that photo of you holding the Sandows at Jay's house, that broke the internet when you posted that.
What had happened? We've been trying this for the last couple of years. So obviously the people don't know, I helped Charles out with his when he's taking the photos and sort of do the lighting of that for him. And finally, Jay, this trip said, yep, I can do it. Can you be here? Can you be here in an hour? So we've left the hotel and got to his house, and we thought it'd only be like a 20-minute thing. He just wanted a couple of photos in his office. And we ended up spending a good 2 hours there. And when we got there, he took us through all his flex covers, muscle and fitness covers, his Olympia wins, his Arnold Classic wins. And he just went through a lot of history on his career, which I thought was incredible. He sat down with us for quite a while. And then we got a photo with the Olympia trophies, and he goes, "What about the Arnold Classic ones?" He goes, "Come and have a look at them," because he's won 3 Arnolds. So we've gone around the Arnold one. He goes, "Pick them up," and I'm like, "Fuck, I don't," because I was pretty nervous. I don't really want to pick these things up. He goes, "No, pick it up." So you might have said it's a big trophy, and it was pretty damn heavy. So then he goes, "Come on, we'll get a photo."
They're the ones that made out of crystal, weren't they?
No, they were the bowls. So they were in a separate cupboard. Yeah. These ones were like the Arnold statue.
Oh, okay.
But that was pretty damn cool. So his office, I mean, we've all seen his office and all the Battle for the Olympias and stuff like that, but to be there in person, it was it was pretty damn cool. And he's actually turned into, I think, probably the best ambassador we have for the sport. He was at the Amateur Olympia, he was at the he was all over the place the whole Olympia weekend.
When you talk about so when you say his office, it's actually the house that he lives in, yeah? His office, house that he lives in. Because I know he's got a lot of property. Yeah, so I don't know whether or not it was just one of his houses.
Yeah, he went to that too. He said he started buying up property when he was a young kid.
Yeah.
Cito helped him, but yeah, his office is in his house.
Yeah.
And it's like walking into a bodybuilding museum. It's unbelievable. It really is cool.
Speaking about being a good ambassador for the sport, Brendan Curry obviously won the Olympia, and we'll talk about that later. But did you see him straight after the Olympia taking photos of him in the Sandow with a bunch of kids? So he went travelling around seeing all of these. Yeah. Like most Olympians fucking be out rooting chicks after the Olympia, but this guy was out taking photos with kids. Like, what a legend. Seriously.
Well, he is married with 3 kids, so he probably...
And he has been living away from her for 12 months or something.
He has, yep. So...
Yeah. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. All right, let's start with the pros, and then we'll move our way down to the amateurs. Yeah. So
why don't we start with the amateurs first? I think that'll be a lot more fun.
You're fucking evil. You look like Dr. Evil from what's it called? Right now, you can think your brain conniving things in your head. Let's start with the pros because I don't want to give you the satisfaction. Let's start with the pros. So the Olympia, what did you all think of the Olympia? I personally, I thought it was a bit boring. I don't know if it was a different atmosphere being there, Mick.
To be honest with you, at the pre-judging, when Logs and myself and Jane went, we were, I think because there was no big names in it, like obviously Sean and Rami and Phil and that, the pre-judging didn't really excite me too much. It was great to see Hardy. That was amazing. It wasn't until the finals that they brought them out again and compared them, and they really compared the top 3 again, which I actually really got into then. It was quite exciting, the finals. But we saw Sean a couple of days before the show, and not that he was in comp shape, but I tell you now, if he had all the tools there to win it again, there was no doubt about it. He was massive, he was full, so I really felt for him.
What's the update with Sean?
Last year, right?
What's that?
Way bigger, like way rounder than last year.
Oh man, he was so round. When we were at the Lift Factory, the gym a couple of days before, and he was super round and heaps bigger than last year. Like he would have done some damage. So I give him credit for what he's going through, being mentally, because he was obviously training Stan for the Classic Olympia. So he kept going with it there as well. But it was noticeable not having a real big name in it. Put it that way.
Yeah, I kind of got that impression. Like I didn't even really take notice much of the finals. I just waited to see who won. But in saying that, Brandon Curry looked pretty freaking awesome. Like for him to take his first Olympia is a huge achievement, and I probably would have seen him placing top 3 or 4 had the big names have been in there either way. Do you agree, Mick?
Yeah, I thought he looked amazing.
Yeah. How close was it between him and Hardy? Because here, I know pictures don't do it justice. I saw Tony's Instagram video today, and he thinks that the first, second, and third was pretty legit being there, seeing it in person.
Yeah,
but there are a lot of Hardy Chopman or Chopman. How do you say it? Chupan.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Hardy fans here, and he did win the People's Champ for that very reason. That seeing him placing in front of both William and Brandon, but Tony reckons it was pretty legit. Do you reckon it was just people being a little bit like he does lack a bit? Like when he does even his front most muscular, like his forearms are a little bit small, his calves are a little bit small. But I thought William
I could have had him second.
Yeah, in front of William.
But first, second, and third, how they were, there was no argument. No one really argued with the results, so that was pretty solid. Yeah. But you could have made a case for him being in second. Yeah. And I think it would have been the same. Everyone would have agreed with it as well.
Yeah. Do you guys think you made the right decision going to the Opens rather than doing the 212s?
In hindsight, yeah, because he got third. But if he placed outside the top 6, it would have been a massive fuck up.
Yeah, but do you think it's more prestigious placing top 3 in the Opens in a weaker lineup than walking away with the 212 title?
He wouldn't have won the 212 title.
Yes, he would have.
He would have cleaned up. That dude that won, what's his name?
Kamala.
He's the whole Open division, except for Patrick Moore, their conditioning was off, and the top 4 or 5 were just full of fucking synthol. It was just fucking disgusting.
He was a standout, Patrick Moore. When he walked out,
Patrick Moore was fantastic. Like the lines on that guy, the detail, the definition, all he lacked was size. Do you know what I mean?
He looked like a young Ronnie Coleman.
I was really disappointed in this year's open men's category. Really disappointed.
Yeah, he did look like a young Ronnie Coleman. I remember when Ronnie made his debut, and I wasn't old enough to remember it, but I've seen it on videos. He came out with a more classical look, like Patrick Moore, crazy conditioning. Patrick Moore would clean up in the old days.
I think when we were there, when Patrick didn't get called out in the second line, the second lot of guys, a lot of us were a bit shocked because even standing there, he stood out. And remember, Patrick's got Lee Labrada in his corner too. So Lee Labrada's mentored him quite a bit, which you can see in his posing and his physique. So I think Lee will keep those lines on him, and he won't let him blow out. I think we're going to see Patrick gain size slowly over the next couple of years, and man, he'll be in that. There's a lot of guys retiring soon, so I think Pat will be up in that top 3.
I don't want him to look like a Kai Green. Do you know?
I don't think he will.
Yeah,
I really don't think he'll take that way.
Yeah, I hope not, because he had fucking crazy physique. He was definitely a standout. 212, we had Aaron Politis competing, obviously representing Australia, did really well in placing ninth. How did you all see that 212 class? Because I think here in Australia there was probably more focus on that 212 class rather than the Opens, because we didn't have Josh competing in the Open, so a lot of people were focusing on how Aaron would go at his first show. What did you all think?
Just pause there. How do you think Josh would have gone if he competed? I know it's all fucking whatever, but
Josh at his best, I think, would have placed 4th. In my opinion.
Honestly, if Josh at his best, he would have won.
Yeah, but that's take away.
You know what I mean?
Take away Josh being Josh. Like in realistically, yeah, he probably would have won, but they wouldn't have placed Josh. Josh should have beaten like Rowley at the Australian Arnold, but didn't. Do you know what I mean? So they're obviously going to progress him up the ranks slowly. They wouldn't have put him from 8th to 1st. But, yeah, Josh had the potential of winning that show, definitely. Yeah. Do you guys agree, Chris?
Mate, I mean, you only have to look at the size of the guy, mate. The way he's walking around, he's massive, you know.
Yeah,
so if he gets that in condition. But like what Andre said, man, that's the one thing that I took out of it that was disappointing was, you know, every single one of them turned around. Every single one of them was watery or fluidy or fat, one or the other. I don't know how you want to say it, but there wasn't really anyone that was just razor sharp. That's the shame here. And I mean, you know, Brandon the same. You know, like I don't have any complaints about the top 3. I mean, I think that, you know, that was the 3. Yeah, Hardy could have gone one higher, maybe not. I think the fact that once Hardy won the People's Award, that pretty much told you that he was going to get 3rd at that point, you know. And I think that I knew as soon as that was the case. Rowley was off, Dex wasn't right, you know, everyone was just off. You know, even Bonac wasn't. You know, would Bonac have won that? You know, in his normal condition, you'd have to think so. Yeah. You know, so
you got to remember too. The other guy, Sandow, was off.
Yeah,
Cedric was off. We could just keep going on, and we brought this up on our forum with Cedric getting the invite, and I was all for it. I think he should have got the invite with his military duties, but he was really off.
Yeah,
very noticeable.
Did he get the invite 8 weeks out? I heard who was it commentating? It wasn't who's the commentator?
He would have had an idea though.
He was qualified. He was qualified before the Tampa. And he was planning on going in the Tampa, but he couldn't because he had to fuck off for military duties. Then after Luke Sandow came 2nd, he was bumped out. Then he flung the letter. He was prepping for the Olympia the whole time.
Oh,
but
okay.
He was planning on doing Tampa just in case, like what Sandow did, but they pulled him out for military duty.
So I mean, why does he miss so much? You know, more so than not. I mean, I was watching him in that lineup, and structurally, you know, he turned to the side. There's just so much muscle. And so much, it's such a good-looking physique for the amount of muscle it's got on it. But it just, I'm not trying to be an asshole to the guy in that, but like you're a professional. Like, how do you miss the mark by that far if you're a pro? Like,
yeah,
what's
we say the same thing about him every single year. He has the shape and the size to win the Olympia any day of the week. So why not put in the hard yards and come in condition? But look, I think he's a lazy dieter.
The majority of the 212s nailed it.
Yes.
They really did.
Yeah, but I reckon the difference between the 212s and the Opens is the majority of those guys are doing whatever they fucking can to get under that 212 weight category. If these Opens pushed hard, to make weight, then they would have to come in shape. They would have to come in shape. But I reckon that's what separates the two classes.
We have a look at both men's classic physique and the 212, right? They've both got weight restrictions.
Yeah.
All right? So that's why the athletes in both those classes were in such good condition, and that's why those two classes were so competitive.
That's right. Well,
compared to the open class.
those 212 guys are sitting around 115 in an off season, not fat. So for them to get down to 96 kilos, they're going to have to push really, really, really hard, and then they end up bouncing back to probably 105 on stage after weighing. But for them to get so big in an off season and have to drop so much weight, they're going to have to suffer. And I don't see Cedric McMillan putting it in a state of having to suffer during a prep at any time. I just don't see it.
Maybe
He looks
doesn't
like he hasn't prepped at all, and he looks like that's what he would look like in an off season. I don't see him getting fat.
It looked like a guest pose.
Yeah,
to be honest,
it's disappointing because the guy's got amazing potential. He could walk away with an Olympia any day of the week if he brought in conditioning.
So many of them coming out of shape. Do you think they're just trying to be too big?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Even Luke, we caught up with Luke 5 days before the show at the gym.
Sandow.
And when he walked in, and no offense to Luke because we all like him, but he was way off. And he had shorts and a tank top thing on, and he was really, really bloated. So I don't know what they're doing leading into the show or how they're going about things, or maybe he was sick. I don't know, but it was really noticeable. And you could see it in his face and his attitude at the time. I think he was pretty down on himself.
See, we've known now, because we've been around for a while now, and we've had a lot of mates progress from amateurs to pros and then competed on the pro stage. And if you've had a conversation with any of them of how they feel about hopping up a pro stage, their first fear is that they're going to look small. So automatically their brain is thinking, what do I have to do to look as big as I possibly can? And that mentality alone is going to sacrifice conditioning because they're worried about not bringing in their sharpest look, but not looking small next to fucking Rolling Winkler on stage. And that's an intimidating thing to have to worry about. Like, the only pro that we've got here in the country is Josh, who really doesn't have to worry about looking small. But Sam Pearce, like, he could have come in a little bit tighter the last time he competed, but I remember him, like, he was a little bit worried about looking small on stage next to fucking Rolling Winkler. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the fear factor with pros and coming in condition, and all of them just trying to come in looking as big as they possibly can. But Sean Roden doesn't look like a mass monster on stage, and he wins an Olympia last year, and he would have cleaned up again this year. So,
yeah, I've got no doubt he would have cleaned up actually.
Yeah, let's talk about Aaron a bit. So he obviously walked away with 9th place, his first Olympia. Pretty good showing. How do you guys think he came in? You Gally, you would have had a good look. He looked razor sharp here on TV.
I'm just trying to think. We were at the pre-judging, which is in the expo.
Yeah, for the 212s.
So the top 10, they call the top 10 in that night to the finals. But at the pre-judging, Logs had to touch his tan up in the bathroom, which was next to the stage. And I must admit, when Aaron walked out and I looked at him, that was the best I'd ever seen him. Like, up close. He was very round and very, very full. Like, that was the best. I think it's deceiving when you see the video, because I've seen the video telecast and he doesn't quite look as impressive on that. But when he's in real life, it's the condition is what got him through, because he beat guys like David Henry and Zane Watson. He beat some big names.
Yeah.
And I think by the finals, and Aaron will admit it, by the finals I think he'd flatten out a bit. I'm not sure if that would have had any indication on the placings apart from 9th, but definitely by the night show he had flattened out a little bit. Yeah.
Sean Ray had a lot of good things to say about him. He's probably one of the only people that he had good things to say about him. Nice flow, nice shape. The only criticism that he had of Aaron was he probably need to bring up his upper body to match his lower body, so he's a bit bottom heavy. But he definitely didn't look out of place, and like you said, he knocked off a lot of the top pros. Dave Henry, you mentioned Dave Henry, he blew up, didn't he, about not placing in the top 10?
Yeah.
He looked good, but
Dave, that's the thing. Dave looked good, man. He may have been overlooked slightly, because I couldn't really fault. I thought he was in condition. He was big. I don't know what you guys saw.
If you had placed him top 5, you wouldn't have argued. But he didn't even place top 10.
Yeah. I don't even know what he ended up, actually. What
I don't know. I just know he was out of the top 10. But like I'm saying, you could have easily placed him in the top 5. Jimmy, every time you talk, it's not working. I can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, when you move forward, yeah. But I see your mouth moving, but no sound's coming out. You don't have to apologise. I'm just giving you the heads up.
Hey, can you do me a favour while we're on the subject of talking stuff? Can you move the computer that way so I can watch the football?
Souths are losing.
Oh, that's a shame. How's the Roosters going?
Fuck you.
Oh, aren't we that good? Oh, awesome.
You're a closet fan
Anyway.
anyway. Closet fan.
Anyway.
You're
Hey,
only
what
a
did
fan.
you? Speaking of coming in off when they shouldn't have, Derek was a bit of a disappointment. He was really off at the prejudging,
It
like
was
really.
terrible.
How do you go from the 4-week out picks to looking like that?
Yeah, but what did he place third? Or second?
Second.
He did get second,
Second,
but
yeah.
that was kind of his title to really to clean up.
But
he
he improved a lot overnight.
He did.
He's
No,
got-
he did. He did.
Got
I
nice
think,
lines on him.
He does,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah. He looked really, really good. Like he was pushing for first, in the finals, but
it was quite. Yeah, they kept calling him out over
Yeah.
and over again
Yeah.
overnight.
But the freak of the 212 class was the guy that came third. That Sean, what's his name? Claude.
Correlata. That's
Yeah.
what's his name's client?
Matt Jensen's
Matt
client.
Jansen's client. Yeah,
He
He's fucking
weighs
short,
like Jimmy. How much does he weigh? Like 180 pounds.
Not
Yeah.
even.
Yeah,
68.
he's that guy's a freak.
The guy's
He's-
about 5 foot on the dot.
Yeah,
He's about 5 foot on the dot.
Man,
Yeah.
he's just round out.
That's pretty hard to find someone shorter than you, Nick.
Yeah.
Shut up, Gretch.
What do you tell me to shut up? Everyone's laughing. You've got it in for me today. I know you've got it in for me today. He did look good, but he was happy with his placing. He was very happy with his placing. It was good to see. Let's move on to the amateurs. So we had.
Hang on. We're going to cover anything else at all? The classic, the women's physique, anything? Shanique Grant looked unbelievable.
Did she?
Absolutely crazy.
Man, she was the gift of the show of the entire
She
show.
is the most genetically gifted athlete I have ever seen in my life. She's never going to lose that title unless
Unless she stops.
she stops.
Yeah.
It's nuts to see her perform. You can't take your eyes off her. Unbelievable.
Well, let's talk classic physique then. What did you think of the classic physique result? Because Breon, I don't know how he lost, and a lot of people here are saying they don't know how he lost. But do you reckon it was the moustache that got Bumstead over the line?
It seems like it, doesn't it? Everyone's talking about it.
I think Bumstead was
I'm a
slightly
Brown
bigger
fan,
lower body
and I like Chris
and
as
better
well.
detail.
What did you say, Andre? What did you
I
say?
think Bumstead had better detail and size in his lower body than Brenner did. And that's what pushed him over the line.
Do you say you think the placings were correct?
Look, it could have gone either way. I would have been happy if either of them came first. You know what I mean? Because I think both of them represent they're good representatives of the sport.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Right? And both their lines are fantastic. I mean, I think Brenner is a better poser than Bumstead, but it could have gone either way. It was a very, very close competition. Very, very close.
Who wasn't happy? Chris Cormier. Did you see his
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Yeah,
I
I saw a little bit about that, but I didn't see the full gist of it. What was that about?
People deal with things, in different ways.
Yeah.
If that's your athlete, some people get upset in different ways. He obviously voiced it via Instagram or whatever like that, and said he was Bumstead was shit arm, shit back, which weren't as good as Breon's. But I thought it was dead close. I had Breon just winning, but I can see why Chris won as well. So it's one of those things where they could swap places easily next year. But I think what it was Chris made the most improvement from last year compared to this year.
She looks like a dog's breakfast.
Then again, I do prefer Breon for some reason. I don't know. I like his look.
I don't like the way Bumstead speaks.
Nah, they could have got rid of that.
Canadian. He can't help it. Just like being a Western Australian or a Queenslander.
Hey. We'll be down your way in a couple of weeks.
Hey, good. Hopefully I'll be able to see you.
Then you've got George Peterson who got third, who looks like a 212 bodybuilder.
Yeah. Isn't he moving up to 212?
There's a few going to 212.
For the next shows, round of shows. Yeah, for the next round of shows, eh?
Stan's doing the Italian Pro Show.
He's out of classic from now on. He's done.
Yeah.
How do you think about the Italian show, Mick? You saw him up close.
You got Rowley doing it as well. You've got a few of the other big boys doing it. So
you've got Nathan Gasha, you've got Regan doing it.
Regan looks unreal at the moment too. Jesus, he looked good.
He does, hey?
Impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope he
he's
comes in shape.
yeah, I think he will. He's suited to opens for sure.
Yeah, look.
What else?
I don't know.
Physique. I didn't watch that. Actually, I think I went and had a hot dog when Physique was on. Good hot dogs in that New Orleans. They are. They're very good.
You love a good sausage in your mouth. Let's move on to...
What a dead set idiot.
I told you, he's a different person. I don't know if it's America because Chris is sitting next to him. I don't know what it is, but he's like a completely different personality. I don't know what happened to you over there, mate. All right, let's talk about the amateurs. So we had a few Aussies competing over there. We had Timmy McKinnon. Who else was there? There was Michael Lucy. And Logan. So Logan, obviously,
and there's also what's his name, Toby Woolley from South Australia, did the men's classic, and he did his weight categories as well in bodybuilding.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
Sorry, yeah, there was that.
He did well.
And it was your mate that won his pro card in the classic physique.
Alex, yeah.
Alex, what's his surname?
Connors,
is it?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the bodybuilding, obviously. So. Logan walking away with his pro card. It's something that we predicted him winning for a very long time, and he's well deserving. It would have been nice to see him win it here, but it does open the door for Timmy McKinnon to win it over here because I think he's a clear front runner. We'll talk about that later on. But tell us a little bit about the experience of watching Logan compete at the. Well, I don't think any of us have attended a amateur Olympia before. So you're the only one. Yeah.
That's my fault.
How is the show there? How is the show? Is it well?
Yeah,
run?
It's in New Orleans in a separate theatre, which was quite good lighting and good seating and stuff like that. But I mean, obviously, Logan's made this decision, almost a year ago, I guess, to do it.
Yeah.
So we've all been sort of pushing him from them, but it was good. We got to LA first. We did a bit of prep at Golds, went to Vegas, met up with Patrick, his coach, who was fucking awesome, man. Such a really good person, like a really sharp eye. Andre, you would love chatting with him, man. He really was a good guy. So basically, Logs checked in with him daily from then on, which was great to see his body change over that period. And then, on the comp day, and then he got up for the win, which was pretty exciting for all of us. And, we've all been there. Man, I've known Logs over 15 years. So I've seen a lot of second places in those top shows. We all have the Arnolds, the Nationals. He's come across some stiff competition. This was the hard comp too, though. He had 27 in his class. The guys he was up against was pretty hard. Admittedly, and Logan will say it too, when he came out, because he didn't get much notice, he was extremely flat for Logan. But by the second round, third round, you could visually see him getting fuller and fuller and more confident, which is what he needed.
So he didn't get first call out?
You did.
No, he did. But what happens when they first bring them out? They give them 30 seconds on their own to pose. So they didn't know this at the start. They told them the last minute.
So basically like a type posing routine, or they're actually going through their compulsories?
They call it presentation round, man. So it's just they come out and they just go through their poses pretty much in whatever order, and they can just, if they want to add some transitional shit in between the compulsories, they can, but it's not a routine. It's just going through them, isn't it?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Same as what the pros did.
Yeah, similar. Yeah. But they didn't know this at all until right before. So they caught him off guard. And I know it threw Logs off. So that was the first part. There's 27 people in his class. So by the time, and Logs was towards the end, it just lost rhythm. And then they brought him out.
Was it fast? So was it basically one person walking off and the next person walking on, or was there a bit of a time
one person was doing it and there was one waiting ready to go, and they just kept moving like that.
Yeah.
So it was actually really a professionally run show for an amateur comp. So so then he won his class, the the heavyweight, and then went in the overall and got second in the overall, which top 3 get their pro cards. So there you go. Yeah. So now, freaking another one of my mates is a pro, and I'm, happy days. Of course. Good times.
So, Timmy McKinnon. So Logs was in the heavyweights then. So Logs came in under, what was the weight that he had to be? Because it was different.
102.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're filling
102
that.
for
He would have been
super,
just under 102. And then Timmy was how heavy did Timmy end up weighing in at?
I'm not sure, mate. To be honest, like he was that relaxed about everything. He didn't give a shit about his weight. He didn't give a shit about anything. I look good, and that's all there was to it. But I'm gonna say he would have weighed in my opinion, around 106, 107, definitely. He was 110 Bendigo, so it is a fair bit tighter. Obviously, we didn't do anything for Bendigo. We just sort of trundled him straight off the basketball court onto the stage there. So anyhow.
Being there in person, he looked good, dude, guys. Holy
And he
crap.
doesn't look bad in any photos.
Nah,
No.
He honestly
it's
doesn't look bad in any photos. Yeah.
Yeah, we spoke about this before. It's such clean, fresh muscle on his body. So everything pops, not just bits and pieces. Everything pops. I probably had him up one more position than third.
Agreed. I think,
Yeah, that was my personal opinion. I thought
He had a much more pleasing physique than the two that placed in front of him.
the guy that won though, Mark, devil's advocate here. I mean, it's hard because Tim came off stage and said to me, he goes, "How did you see it?" And I just said, "You're second at worst." That's what I said to him. And I believe that because the guy that ended up getting second was just a block, really. He was massive. The guy that won no one was conditioned like Tim, and probably it would have been hard pressed in the whole show to find anyone that was conditioned to the same degree. I mean, you only have to look at his posing routine to hear the remarks from the commentators just going, wow, all this sort of stuff the whole time. Every time he turned around, his glutes were diced and whatever. But the guy that won apparently was the same age as him, so they're both 27, and the guy in the middle was he was huge, I don't know what his weight was, but boy, oh boy, he was a big, big guy. So I suppose the decision in the end of the day just came down to the fact that, muscularity won out in the end, because, I mean, if they were chasing, condition and structure and that, then, there's argument for Tim to win that. But obviously they decided to go for the bigger guy, and that was their decision, so.
And to call someone big standing next to Tim, the fuck was big.
He was big, man.
He was big.
He's very big, yeah. And the guy that came second was very big as well.
But that's what you've got to expect from competing at these overseas shows. They come from all over the world, and they're fucking huge in comparison.
Exactly.
What I was saying to Chris before is with the Americans, that they stick with their traditional USAs, Nationals, and North Americans. So you won't get a lot of Americans at these shows, but you did get a lot of Swedes, Germans, that's what else, Russians, that sort of thing. So there was a lot of
Mexicans as well, South Americans there.
Yeah, Brazilians and stuff like that. So there was a good mixture from around the world, but just not many Americans.
It's good to see a lot more Aussies giving this show a crack too, because it was mostly just the Arnold Amateur in Columbus that people would travel overseas to compete at. But it's good to see the Aussies giving this one a good crack.
But then for them to be so competitive too, in that, because I mean, Logs wins it. There's no denying that. I mean, he won the heavyweight category, and then for Tim to go into that open, super heavies, and get recognised the way that he did in that. I mean, it was no accident that the guy got third. You know what I mean?
No,
it was probably the worst position. It was probably the worst placing he could have got. But nonetheless, it's given him a shit ton of confidence as well to realise how good he is. I mean, every day we used to talk about it and go, "Do you realise how good you are yet? Do you realise how good you are yet?" Yeah, I'm starting to. I go, "Good. Well, you're good." You know what I mean? And he knows he's good now. And now he's dangerous. If he wasn't dangerous before, now he's dangerous. So.
You know what the weird thing is, but so we'll talk about the amateurs and the people that are competing and potentially going to walk away with a pro card. But in my eyes and in so many people's eyes, after his showing at the Olympia, Tim is a clear front runner to win his pro card in a few weeks from now. I don't think anyone else is going to argue.
Have you seen some of the photos he's put up since he's been back? If you compare them to the ones that he was putting up before he went to America, it's night and day. Chris, you'd probably get 1 million a day. I saw one today, and I was like, what the fuck? This guy just like he's a snowball going down the hill, and he's just picking up steam and momentum. No one is going to come close to him.
And they're iPhone pics. They're not pics from a professional photographer who's using filters or anything like that. They're just pics from his phone. So they're legit. This is what I look like right now, pics.
Yeah. Well, see, I think the other thing you got to look at as well with him, the whole theme for the prep, if you want to put it that way, was calm, relax. And he did that.
Tell the story about Bendigo. Tell the story about Bendigo, because you're talking about
Bendigo. Basically, we about 10 days, 2 weeks out, we sat down and changed his structure a little bit. And I'm not going to say exactly what it was, but it basically went in line with him basically doing what he did the whole prep, and that was 2 days on training, a day off, 2 days on, day off. And we felt that, and he felt too, because he does his own training, right? But the structure was adhered to because he could get up and put 100% effort, even more so for 2 days, and then next thing you know, have a day off.
Can I ask, in that day off, was he doing any type of cardio at all?
Just a walk.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So on that day he might do a little bit bigger walk. He might do a no. he might. I think on the days off, to be honest, off the top of my head, he might do a 40 or a 45-minute walk on the day off. But the cardio on any other day, he never did more than 30 minutes walk ever, throughout the whole prep. It was just, that's all it was. It was just upon rise, stimulate metabolism, let's get on with the day, and wake up and all the rest of it. But he trained 2 on, 1 off the whole way through, and he came and saw me on the Wednesday, which was the Wednesday before Bendigo. And at this point, he had said nothing about Bendigo, and he just sat in the office and just looked at me and goes, "So today's my day off?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, they're my training days." And I said, "Yeah." And I was looking at him, and I just thought, "Oh, I don't know where you're going with this," but it was an interesting conversation, And he goes, "And Saturday's my day off." And I said, "Yes." And I'm just looking at him going, like, "What's the punchline, mate?" And he goes, "Well, I reckon we go to Bendigo on Saturday on my day off training. We do the show because I don't want to go to Vegas without doing a show and be rusty because I haven't been on stage in 2 years." And that's how we decided to do Bendigo. That's the truth. And I supported him 100%, as I do with everything, because the argument was valid, like him saying he didn't want to be rusty and wanted some stage time. So pretty much the way you saw Tim in Bendigo was him basically going to Bendigo. He did his clients all day on Saturday, tanned and put his trunks on, and ate exactly the same on show day as he did any other day. Drank the same amount of water he did any other day. And he trained up until Friday, and then he got up the next day and he trained on Sunday because that was his next 2 days on. And that's how Bendigo went down. It's as simple as that. So that was a pretty raw McKinnon, the way it was, And I think once we saw what he looked like, the delivery of that package, the way it looked off doing that, and that's not taking anything away from saying there was no effort. He trained his ass off all the way in.
Yeah, but it's just a much more relaxed approach.
There was no manipulation. There was no nothing. He just did the show, And then we knew at that point, or I knew at that point from that, I knew how good he was going to be at that point because we hadn't even done anything really from that.
Yeah, yeah.
So in saying that, because I was at Bendigo, when Tim walked on stage...
Oh, you're allowed out of the state now. Congrats, bro.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah, it was very quick. Yeah.
When Tim walked on stage, he was the clear-cut winner. Honestly, it wasn't even close, to be honest. I've said it twice. It wasn't close. He was bigger. He was just as lean as anyone else on stage, and he was just dominant from head to toe. It was I won't say a laughable performance, but because I knew what was going down behind the scenes, the story Chris just told, I was having a giggle to myself because I was just expecting what he's going to look like in Vegas and then Nationals to come. I said before, Nationals was just pretty next level.
Just what we saw from photos alone from Bendigo, he looked freaking ridiculous. So I was kind of, I still wasn't sure what to expect in Vegas. And then when he got there, it was next level again. And from photos again, I know we posted one on our forum before of him doing that side tricep, where we've got a super heavyweight doing the side tricep, making it look classical. I think we're going to see. Yeah,
that's his best pose. That tricep pose.
Yeah,
that's his best pose by far.
Yeah. What can we learn out of this though as well? Like, let's be think about it that way. Thank you, Pitbull. But like, you think about it now, he was calm, he was relaxed, he maintained this whole thing, and like here we are now. He's eating more food than what he has been for a long period of the prep, post show, and I really can't see that changing in the foreseeable future because inflammation's low, system's running well, cortisol's in control, he's calm, he's relaxed, he's sleeping. Mate, I'm getting text messages going, I just slept 9.5 hours, like just stuff like that. So there's no real negativity at all in there. And if you can just maintain the momentum and maintain the mindset, the guy's going to come in with more food this show. His condition will be greater, and he's going to be bigger again because of all these factors. So I don't know, man. I'm excited. He's a good mate of mine. He's one of my best mates, and part of me would love to have seen him win it on a big stage like that. But the other half and the purist in me is just wrapped with the opportunity of him, and he knows he's got to work still. It's not anything like that. He's got to bust it. But the opportunity for him to get it on home soil, man, it's pretty special in front of everyone.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he is the front runner now, right? So let's talk about the other contenders. We had Michael Lucy, who competed at the Olympia. He looked like he downsized a lot for this. So I don't know whether or not he was trying to make weight or maybe he over-dieted or I'm not too sure. But I was expecting a much bigger Mike. You were at the Bendigo show. What's his name? Jimmy. I forget his name.
Jim Bob right there.
And you obviously have seen photos of Mike at the Olympia. Was he a lot bigger at Bendigo? Or did he? Yeah.
I'll tell you the honest to God truth. In Bendigo, he was spot on. Like his condition was probably some of the best condition that I have ever seen up close on anybody. Period. The only difference is usually someone with that condition doesn't go stand next to Tim fucking McKinnon. So, mate, he came away from Bendigo with momentum as far as I'm concerned because he's fucking conditioned, dude. Like from head to toe conditioned, but Tim's just superior, and that was it. And there was he could not have done anything else to beat Tim on that day except get a bus, put Tim in front of it, run the cunt over. That's the only way. No, but
Who's that? That's the start.
A big fucking bus.
Yeah.
Oh, Manly just fucked up. They could have gone in front then. But I lost track. Yeah. But he did. So what he ended up. I know he mentioned he got 6 spot on the scorecards. He was 7th place, was he? At the.
But they were 7th when the scorecards were released. They were.
So he got 7th. Yeah. So I think he expected to be placing a little bit higher, and he probably had the potential to place a lot higher than that. So hopefully he can. You don't think? No, I'm talking. Say for instance, he brought the package that he did at Bendigo.
Nah.
I didn't see.
He hasn't got the structure and he's got too many weak body parts. Way too many weak body parts to even be in the top 3 or 4 at the amateur Olympia.
He's a big dude, though. He's a big dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been put wrong together completely.
See, look, I'm gonna be like we've got a lot of Eagles are in front. Jimmy, goodbye, South. See you, bunnies. You fucking scumbag.
We should have the TV.
We should have the team. We'll
sorry. Anyway, let's talk about the upcoming show. So we've got our state shows.
Hang on. Before we get on to that.
Every time I'm moving on the topic, you got a better topic to talk about. How about we get Mr. Galley to run the show? All right, your Galley show. Let's go. You and your fucking midget ears.
Why? Clearly somebody's stressed about their gym opening next week and their competition on in 2 weeks.
Do you want to know what about fucking stressful about? Fucking, there's a chance that I won't even get my weight plates delivered. So how are you going to open a gym without weight plates?
You bring that up on the show? What are we bringing that up on the show for?
I don't know. I'm just telling you. You just brought up stress about opening a gym. I'm just relaying the gym. No. We've got weight plates. I've got Wallona plates. I'm all good.
Okay.
Your teeth are looking really white too. Did you get your white teeth in for this show?
I just want to make special mention because he got his pro card as well, which was Alex.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about them, but you changed the subject.
You were going on to the amateur Australia.
Yeah, because I lost track because you started talking shit.
let's all just sit here and stare at Gretch for a minute because he seems very rattled for some reason.
I'm watching the footy anyway. I'll ignore you, Gally. You're in a fucking mood.
that football.
Anyway, I'll say special mention to him too, because that's something he's wanted for a couple of years, to be a classic pro. He's got it. I do know that Jim Mannion saw him in Golds and had quite a positive chat to him about his future.
Oh, really? That's a big thing.
I think Alex has got the look that they're kind of going for. I just think
is this classic physique?
he's just got to make a few little improvements and then knuckle down and
What
How much
improvements?
weight you got to play with his height?
I think he's got another 3 or 4 kilos he can use now.
Is he a tall guy?
Yeah, he's
I'm not meaning in comparison to you, because everyone's tall in comparison to you. But
You are so fucking predictable these days.
that was predictable, Jimmy. It was that predictable. It was sad.
I heard that coming before he even brought up the classic fucking Alex.
I gathered at the start of the show something was wrong with him.
do you like my line?
Yeah. Oh wow. I got it.
Listen, are we done now? Can we move on to another topic? Is there anyone else you want to mention? Who was the other guy that competed that you mentioned, Andre?
Toby from
So how
South
did
Australia.
How did he go?
I think he came third in his classic division, and I think he came eighth in his bodybuilding division weight class.
Do you know how many were in that weight class? Was it a big category? Because I think they were all pretty big lineups, weren't they, Gally?
Yeah, they're all pretty big lineups. Yeah. I mean, he looked good. I mean, the last time he competed I competed against him in 2016 in the Masters, and he's put on a lot of size since then, and he's improved his detail. I mean, he's got some nice lines on him. I mean, he's not a big guy, but yeah, I mean, like I was really impressed with what he presented at the amateur Olympia stage, and he obviously had a lot of fun, there, and he's a good guy as well. So congratulations to him as well.
Bodybuilding aside, Gally, stop looking at your phone. Try and concentrate for 5 seconds.
I'm replying to your message. Yeah, fucking moron.
Why do you? He sent me like little sticking your finger up, and he's got dark fucking fingers. That's how paranoid this motherfucker is about his tan. He put black fingers. Can you see that? Black fingers.
Jimmy, you feel that?
Yes, I know. I picked it early. Don't worry.
Thank you.
But bodybuilding aside, how fun was Vegas? Was it good over there?
It was good. I mean, obviously Vegas trips for me now are a little bit different than what they used to be 10 years ago. But
Why? What's the difference?
I don't sort of go to the clubs at all and hang out there till the freaking 5 o'clock the next day. That was good. There was like 40-degree heat, which I love. I love my heat.
I asked you this under your photo. Did Jay Cutler remember you?
No, thank God. Thank God. That was a good 10 years earlier, though, remember?
Yeah, true. For those that don't know, Gally crashed Jay Cutler's after party at one of the pool parties, after one of the Olympias that he won, snuck into his cabana.
No. The CEO of GNC snuck me into his cabana. We were both off our heads. Like, it was embarrassing. And then I remember Jay's wife at the time saying, "How did these two get in here?" And that's when I felt really uncomfortable and awkward. So I shook his hand, got a photo, and got out of there.
As if he's going to remember that.
Yeah.
You're that little fucking midget that stuck into my cabana 10 years ago, aren't you? You should have told him when you were there. Showed him a photo. Are you ready to move on to the amateur shows now, Gally, or are there other topics that you want to talk about?
Yeah, no, we're good.
Oh, thanks, bro. All right, let's move on to these amateur shows. So there's, we'll talk bodybuilding. There's obviously a lot of people from each state competing. There's a heap registered already, especially for the Queensland show. Fuck, that's going to be a big show.
Oh, really?
Oh, like, I don't, where? Well, yeah.
No, you serious? Jump marking around.
I'm serious. The numbers for the Queensland show are fucking up there.
Nobody did the March one?
Okay, awesome.
Is that because nobody did the March one?
I don't know, but there are fucking, let's just say, it's going to be Queensland's biggest show.
That's bigger than your show.
At the moment, yeah. Yeah, so at the moment, Queensland's going to be the big, but Queensland is the first state to kick off the state series. So always the first show is always the biggest,
Hey, Gretch, but there's no overall trophies, is there? There's weight belts. Is that correct?
Weight belts at the Nationals. The overall winners at the Nationals will win a Cardillo weight belt.
So what happens here at the state titles?
There's overall trophies.
All right.
Yeah. But they got the glass ones. They're fucking nice, man. Yeah. Something different. Just mix it up a bit. Yeah. Really nice. So the glass trophies for the state shows, and then the Cardillo weight belts for the overall winners at the nationals. Yeah. But let's talk about some of the names we know competing, and they're guys that, like, if we don't mention you, it's not because we don't like you. It's because you
Don't lie, Greg.
we forget.
We just don't.
I like everyone. I'm not like you guys. You're all angry old men. I'm nice. Go fuck yourself too. Let's talk about that. Obviously, we spoke about Timmy McKinnon competing. Michael Lucy will come back to do the shows, I think. I don't know if he's still dieting. Is that his plan? Does
He's
anyone
still
know?
carbon up.
I know he's still. I don't know if he's eating clean over there. I know he's enjoying himself. So we've got Timmy McKinnon. We've got Michael Lucy. Chris Cavalos is competing. So Chris Cavalos, you can't ignore Chris Cavalos.
Yeah, you can.
Sorry.
What's wrong with you? You can't ignore Chris Cavalos. He placed second at the.
Say that.
He's second. Shut the fuck up. Prove it. He just placed second at the Arnold in the super heavyweights. You can't ignore Chris Cavalos as being a contender for winning his pro card. What did you say, Jimmy?
The last time Tim and Chris competed against each other, Chris beat Tim.
No. Yes. Well,
Chris
this is where
got the win, but he didn't beat Tim.
this is where the bodybuilding in Australia unravelled and imploded because of this very battle on stage. Chris Cavalos versus Timmy McKinnon. Now, all respect to Chris Cavalos, he's made amazing gains since that competition. And you can't bag him out for winning because he wasn't judging that show. And it wasn't IFBB Pro League, it was old Carol Graham IFBB.
We're not back. We didn't steal his medal. You did.
I gave it back.
No, you fucking stole it. And I guarantee you got it in that fucking house of yours right now. Go and get it, Mark. Go and get it. Yeah.
I gave it back. But, no, look, it's going to be a good battle because at the end of the day, it's an opportunity for both athletes to redeem themselves because Timmy, in pretty much everyone's opinion, should have beaten Chris that day. Chris won. It wasn't Chris's fault that the position went his way and there was all that controversy around Chris because Chris looked good at the end of the day. Timmy did look better in my opinion. Judges saw it another way. So it's an opportunity for Chris Cavalos to actually redeem himself also and come in looking his best shape. I haven't seen any. I'll probably see him tomorrow at the posing clinic here in New South Wales. So people that are posing clinic New South Wales, Gold's Gym Miranda.
No, we post it up in time.
No, you won't get this up anywhere near in time.
Not even next week. By your comp, you might have it up.
Look at him trying to watch the footy.
South's almost scored. South's almost
Acting
scored.
like that's. Look at him.
Oh, South. Oh, Napier try. Listen.
My bet's on South.
So we've got Chris Cavalos up there as one of the contenders to possibly win a pro card. Ariel.
At the moment, Lucky.
Lucky's a good one.
At the moment.
Lucky's looking
really
real good. Lucky's looking real. I don't see him freaking out because he normally freaks out leading up to a show.
He freaked out a couple of weeks ago.
Exactly. He's already had his freak out. Maybe he's had his freak out early. So he's not going to freak out closer to the day of the show. Maybe his freak out is out of his system now.
Hey, look, if you go on anything, you know how Tim is getting better as he gets closer to the show. He's getting bigger and better. The same goes as Lucky, but Lucky freaks out more, and they get bigger and better. The freak outs.
I hope Lucky doesn't watch this because this
Still
will
gonna
freak him
look
out.
good.
This will freak
He's
Lucky out. Lucky's going to look good. And Lucky, he's getting coached by...
Your mate, Mick.
Oh, is he with him already?
Dan McKillop.
Yeah.
I paused because I didn't know whether it was meant to be a secret. Yeah, so he's getting coached by Dean McKillop.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Lucky told me the other day.
Yeah, Lucky told me. Anyway, but Dean's looking after him pretty well, I think, and I think he'll keep him on a level head. And Dean knows how to get in condition, so...
Lucky said good things about Dean. So.
Yeah. I reckon they're going to make a good little partnership. But, so there's Lucky. There's another one in the mix. So we've got Lucky.
Have we heard about Artie?
Yeah, he's not on any social media. So that guy will ruck up on the day and no one will even know he's competing until the day.
He'll rack up.
Rock up on the day. You fucking
Oh,
get.
he said rack up on the day.
Rich.
Gee, so he should.
You're right, Rich.
Enough, all right?
Do I have to rewind that? And I said rock up. I clearly said rock
It's
up.
only, what is it?
Friday.
It's Friday.
Oh, it's Friday night.
It's
Mick.
Friday
It's
night.
Friday night.
20 all. It's 20 all.
I'll tell you what my bet is.
Why'd you just do that? You literally just went like this.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly what just happened.
yeah, but
Fucking keep going the way you're going and you won't be going to nationals. We've got Ariel. Ariel's another one. There's a couple of dark horses that were probably not new to the scene. Well, one is new to the scene in the IFBB Pro League, Danny Schneider. I obviously know Danny personally. I've prepped him for a few years. Andre, he trains at the gym that you consult out of, so you've seen him, and he is a photoshopped version of his natural self at the moment.
Yeah.
He's fucking massive. Not massive, but in comparison to what he was as a natty, he's grown and he looks phenomenal.
He doesn't look like he's going to be doing under 90s, but he looks like he's 95, 96.
Yeah. So he's Andre, you're disappearing, mate. You're so-
I'm trying to get fucking comfortable. I'm old.
I just saw your forehead. We don't want your nose off screen. God knows what you'll get up to.
Here too, though, isn't there? Luke Anderson. I don't know if you guys remember him.
I've seen the pictures.
He did. Yeah, he did the classic last year, but now Logan's prepping him. He's going to be just under 90. Look him up on Instagram, Luke Anderson. He is thick as. He's built. He could be a dark horse if he comes in shredded.
who are you prepping me? One of your guys is good too.
Liam's looking really good at the moment. Liam's looking really, really sharp. I still think he's another year away or so, maybe of doing damage in that class. But
What about you, Chris? You got a few
In
females. What about your females? Because they're pretty good.
yeah, the girls are rocking it at the moment. So yeah, we've got a good physique girl called Kristen down in yeah.
Is that the one that saw you the other day?
Yes, she did. Yeah, quiet achiever, just gets her shit done. So she'll be very good. She's already in shape. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. So
Another dude I want to make mention to, Anthony Flamia. He's looking. I saw him training in the gym the other day. He's looking very round, very lean. On a note, I know he's sitting at about 95 kilos, and he's trying to get under 90. I think for the conditioning that he needs to bring to match someone like Danny Schneider, and they both train at the same gym, which is pretty cool. He'll need to push to get under 90, but that's going to be an interesting battle.
I don't think you'll get under 90.
Actually, I don't think. Yeah, I think he's actually trying to stay over. Yeah, I had a conversation with him. Yeah, he actually said that he's trying to stay over.
Right.
Yeah. So he'll be up against Ariel, which will be a good battle. That'll be a real good battle.
It depends.
Here we go.
It depends.
No, look, I know what you're going to say. Look, Ariel.
It all depends what happens the last 72 hours and who fucks up doing something.
so what are the variables?
where are we at?
There's a lot of variables when it comes to aerial. You know what I mean? A lot of variables.
Ariel looks phenomenal. He if anything for the Ariel, his hammies and his glutes looked soft at Bendigo. But I don't know. Was that a last minute decision for him to prep for that show, or was that always his plan?
At Bendigo, Ariel's most muscular was fucking gnarly. I'll give him that.
Yeah. See, we don't know whether or not that was a last minute decision for him also.
Well, by the announcement, it seemed like it was, but you never know. I mean, when people announce it and whether they've got it in the back of their mind or not, it's two different things, I suppose. So
yeah.
But he's a very, very thickly put together bodybuilder, and he's a gentleman as well. So he's a nice bloke.
It's a fucking ugly dog, Jimmy.
Good looking dog.
It's an ugly dog. Put his head up on the screen. Screen. Look at its eye. Look at this fucking thing. Look at it.
Hey.
He's pumped to be on
Still
that.
doing up, Jimmy. Tell her to go to bed.
Hey.
All mine are asleep.
He just got back in from my mum and dad's.
Babysitting duties, eh?
Yep.
But yeah, so all right, let's finish off the show with giving it. What's the point? But we'll do it anyway. All right, let's give you top three. Top three battling out for the overalls at Nationals. Start with Jimmy.
It'll be Tim versus Lucky versus Danny.
Ooh.
Tim will win. Sorry, Lucky. Sorry, Danny.
You
I like them all. Can't you give them all fucking pro cards like America?
you like Danny because you got him to do you a favour for him to fucking collect money from a client that wouldn't pay you.
Yeah, but he still didn't do it.
Who's your top three battling out for the...
Sorry, can't you give them all pro cards?
What?
Top three? Well, why can't we be like America? Gally thinks America's a good idea. Top three.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did. You texted it right down.
Against it, aren't you?
You just texted it to us right then. You just
Pro
said.
cards to every division winner overall,
I'm
and
joking.
then just throwing a couple of extra.
No, let's... Andre, who do you have your top three battling for the bodybuilding pro cards? And look, every other category, we're not ignoring every other category, but we're just talking about bodybuilding.
Look, Tim McKinnon, he'll win the super heavies. Under 100s, I think he'll be Lucky. Under 90s, I think it will be Danny. I'm not too sure who's doing the under 80s. So if they're the top three, yeah, it'd have to be Tim McKinnon. You know what I mean, hands down. I mean, the guy doesn't even have to walk on stage. You know what I mean? And just you know what? Tell Tony Doherty just to FedEx his overall, try to swim now and pro card now. It just save us all time and money. It'd be good that way. You know what I mean?
No,
It might upset a couple of people.
I'd rather watch, to be honest.
You know?
Chris, sorry, Tim's doing New South Wales, yeah? Or is that not confirmed or not?
Or is that something that was that something that no one was supposed to know? Maybe.
He doesn't need to.
No,
He's already qualified. He's already qualified for the
Truth be told, what Andre's saying now, I'm seeking clarification. I think that doing the international show and that he probably should be qualified for the national show, and I'd like to have a 4-week run in with him straight into nationals, to be honest. But
he qualified in Bendigo.
Exactly.
No, I know, I
Everyone that
clarified that
competed
with
at
Scott.
Bendigo qualified for the
Scott
nationals,
said
so they
that's a
don't
big
need to do
deal.
they don't need to do the state qualifiers.
I think you should do New South Wales.
Yeah, you do because you need the money.
Amateur Olympia
Not
should have
about the money.
qualified.
I just want to. I know. I like seeing quality athletes on the stage that I show I promote. I'm not going to lie. Fuck, it's who cares about the money? It'll be an honour to see Timmy travel interstate to compete at the New South Wales show.
Okay, well, how's this sound? If he has to qualify, which we would like adjudication on, if he does have to qualify, he'll be doing the New South Wales show.
All right, I'll make sure that he does have to qualify.
There you go.
Here we have fucking Tony right there. He's texting Tony now.
Sorry, Tim.
Tony.
Yeah.
Well, at least we'll all be there.
Yeah.
We'll all be down there. We can get Charles doing another photo of us.
Yeah. I've got to get in shape for that. I haven't trained for 2.5 weeks.
You can tell.
We all had clothes on last time, Mark.
Andre, do you think there's a chance? With Anthony? He's a great guy and he's got a great physique. Obviously, if he's in the heavies, he's not going to be in the heavies by much, which doesn't matter. Your best physique is where you should be competing, whether it's 1 kilo above or whatever it is. If he's close, do you think there's a chance he'll go that little bit further? For the nationals. And go under.
Possibly, but I don't think he'll be close.
Nah, he does. He looks considerably bigger than the last time he competed last time.
When he competed last time, what was in 2017, right, when he won his category at New South Wales and just lost the super heavy, the overall to Sadiq. He just made under 90s then, and he's put on 4 to 5 kg of lean tissue.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll message you myself. So, Anthony, if you're watching, I'm going to message you. Reply, please.
What are you going to message him?
I'm just going to say hello. He's a good bloke. I always talk to him. He's a nice guy.
He is a nice guy. Yeah, it's a bloke. Are you going to message anyone, Gully?
We might prank call some people.
We'll do that. I might do that. Yes.
Like you two together. It's dangerous, isn't it? I don't know what's going to happen this weekend. How long are you in Gold Coast for?
A couple of weeks.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Chris, you fucking idiot.
I know, the night is still young.
He is a rude prick these days. The older he's getting, the ruder he's getting.
I love you, guys.
Now you want my top three?
Oh, yeah, all right, might as well. I was going to ask. No, I was going to ask you.
All I've got is Timmy. That's it. That's
Yeah,
all
well,
I can
what's the
with.
point of that then? You just said top three, and you're naming one person.
It's one overall winner.
Well, that's the boring fucking thing because everyone's going to pick the same. That's why I'm saying pick your top three. Who's going to be battling for it? The angry little fucking munch.
I don't think anyone's going to be battling Timmy, to be honest. I really don't.
Fuck,
With
man.
the name,
You make me tired. You're so draining.
You are pushing it, Gretch.
Oh, you're so draining. Fuck, you make me depressed.
Oh, that's it. The show's
This is
done.
like,
We're finished.
remember the good old days. We had no social media, right? You never knew who was doing a show. Yeah. You'd go to the Waynes. Remember they were at a shopping centre?
That's it. Yeah. Westfield
Shopping Centre.
Westfield Shopping Centre. How fucking far back? I've never had a Wayne at a Westfield Shopping Centre.
We're talking way. We go way back.
We're purists over here.
Yes.
We only compete in October, by the way.
You would know about that.
We're purists. I've won 2 of those titles, motherfucker. I've got 2. All right, so don't even start.
Called Australasia. I don't know what that is.
What's season A?
Oh, never heard of it. Never heard of it.
But the best part of it was, man, you'd go to the weigh-ins, and Mick will know this, like you'd go to the weigh-in, and the weigh-in was an event, because you didn't know who was showing up.
Yeah.
And you'd get there, and some bloke would be sitting in the corner with a tracksuit zipped up over his forehead, and then he'd peel this thing off, and he's like, where did he come from?
Who is that?
And that was the best part of it. But that's the same with this, man. I mean, we don't know who else is going to do this show. Maybe there's some sleepers out there, Arthur, is got no social media. I mean, at the end of the day, these guys are going to have to bring it. Tim's going to have to bring it. Everyone's going to have to bring it. And
So that'll be a good battle between Timmy and Arda.
Well,
Timmy's not a clear winner with Arda.
Well, you've got 2 really nice, structured big men there, and that's the thing, So, yeah.
Hey, do you think winning the Arnold Classic in Australia is a prestigious title, Chris?
Well, once it became an international show, it was.
You fucking. I didn't think you were going to pick up on that.
Sorry.
I'm going to throw all my trophies in the bin. The Arnold medal straight off the fucking balcony. Fuck.
This show's going to rate real well.
Big nose fuck. I got nothing. I literally got nothing. Let's
The delivery was
Chris,
perfect.
We've never look. We've both hopped on stage and it was a shit fucking call for both of us. Let's compete against each other.
All right, deal. What are we doing? Board shorts?
No, let's do Masters or some shit. Am I old enough for Masters?
You're not old enough yet.
Oh, see, it's 40, isn't it? Yeah, fuck.
Yeah,
I thought it was over 35. No, it's 40. It's 35 for
How
females.
old are you, Gretch?
Me, I'm 37 soon.
We can go to the Amateur Olympia and you can do it at 35.
We can all be in
really?
Vegas next year.
Oh,
Hey? What could go wrong there?
hey, imagine me, you, Andre, Gretchy, Jimmy in Vegas.
I still don't think I'm allowed in America.
Yeah, I don't think Jimmy's allowed.
We
I'm
go
not clear,
You can go if you're technically working there, aren't you?
No.
No, I don't even think that. No,
No? Okay.
I'm going to try next year to go to Tennessee
Memphis, eh?
because I want to go to with a mate to the Arsenal Strength factory to buy some equipment.
Oh, yeah.
If you need a cowboy hat, I know who to call.
You realise you don't have to go to Tennessee. I've got Arsenal Strength in my gym. You don't have to go to Tennessee to fucking do that.
We're going directly to the manufacturer.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Gretch.
Bypassing his
We're
bed.
taking a truckload of cash with us and just going over.
You know, it's Smithfield. It's a warehouse. It's down the road. You don't have to worry about customs. You don't have to worry about fucking
it's
them holding you
half
up at the
the
airport.
fun, it's
It's just half an hour away from where you are. All right. Let's wrap it up because I'm sick of seeing.
I'm going on no sleep. I need to sleep.
You look like you're fucking tired.
I feel.
Yeah, you look old and fucking ugly.
You fat. Look at you, you fat turnip.
I'm holding water. I'm holding fluid. I don't know what it is. Ever since I've had my nose surgery, I'm a fat turnip. What the fuck does a turnip look like? But I'm a fat one. I don't even know what a turnip looks like, but I'm a fat version of it.
I love the term. I love the term holding water. If we were earlier into the show, I'd dissect that.
I'm just a fluidy fat fuck at the moment. I've got to book in with you, Andre. I think I need one of those no protein.
Take a mod every single day. You'll be right.
Oh no, they're out of date. I was going to take one, but they're out of date. I've got some lactones. I might start pumping them for it.
Yeah, throw them in.
Yeah, might as well. Cocktail.
Eat some bananas while you're at it.
Yeah, I do. I've got a couple of bananas. Yeah, potassium. Yeah. All right, boys. We've been going an hour and 15 minutes. This will be entertaining. All right. Say bye to the little lion.
See you, Lion.
Lion.
Yeah.
And you two have a good night. You're not going to sleep, Gally. I can tell you right now.
I'm going to try.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Make sure you all get to the state shows, buy tickets early. Because I think a lot of them will be sold out this time around. That's no bullshit either. Ticket sales sold out. Mind New South Wales show was sold out the last time. We had to turn people away. So we're trying to get people.
Tickets, please.
No, we bought our tickets.
Oh, okay.
We bought our tickets already.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're a bit. All right. Thanks for listening. See you all later. Bye.